Hi, I'm Lane on bass, and some months back I did a video on Eddie, my Spector Coda 4 that I got at the beginning of this summer to take on tour with Ryan Pelton in The Difference. And I realized just a few days ago that I've had my main bass for almost 16 years now, and I don't have a video for it. So this is the one that I call The Voice. And I call it that because after years and years of experimenting with all kinds of different basses and dozens of brands, PJ Rubel introduced me to the Spector and gave me a chance to play some of the higher end instruments. And I just fell in love because everything I did with my fingers came through the amplifier, which had never really happened for me before, you know. And it was funny because I heard some of the bad technique that I had and realized I had to clean it up. But every little nuance, you know, the bass responded to, and it just felt so comfortable in my hand and so good through the amplifier. Back then we were both using amplifiers from David Nordskou's first company. And now I'm using David Nordskow amplification products, which are even better. But anyway, back to the bass, okay? So, PJ actually let me play some of his own personal basses. I checked out 5s and 6s. I really wasn't sure which way to go. And because I was able to try them both, I realized that I'm going to jump from 4. I might as well make the full jump and go on to 6 and get it all done at once. So I went ahead and decided on a 6-string. It turned out that there was a really nice piece of quilted maple available, what they call Quilt of Life, absolutely perfect quality. And they were going to do a special run, and they only ever did one. Back in the Stuart Spector design days, they did one run of basses with a fiber optic neck marker system. Check this out. Can you see the lights? Turn them off, on, off. Pretty cool, huh? Now the thing that's really neat about that for me is that I'm half blind. And so you get on a dark or almost dark stage, you know, got some, you know, the smoky blue lights at the intro of the blues tune, which we do a lot in deeper blues. I can see my frets, and, you know, that's very helpful to me, quite honestly. So like I said, I was really fortunate to get those. So I got in on that special run because I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And one of only 2 or maybe 3 6-strings in that run of 10 basses that were done. And 4 of them were in a different body shape for a famous bass player who shall not be named. And they all pretty much got destroyed on tour. So, you know, that reduces the number that are out there. And then, you know, the factory kept one and PJ got one. And, you know, so very special to be able to get those. I'm just so grateful that happened. Now, another option that I went ahead and did, not really sure if I'd need it or not, and boy do I love it now that I've got it, is the piezoelectronic bridge, okay? And that's got a different set of tone controls and a blend knob so you can bring it in and out. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. Back then, there was only gold and silver hardware, and I just wanted the blackest bass possible. So I kind of, you know, just stomped my feet and said, no, it's got to be black, it's got to be black. And I even called the bridge manufacturer they were using back then and found out that they did offer the bridge in an anodized black, but with brass saddles. And I was like, boy, that's great, okay, you know. And so Stuart relinquished and he let me have my black hardware. And then somehow the color didn't get translated in the initial order. And you know, it was all ready to go. It's time to put the finish on, and I get a call. What color do you want it? How about a nice honey? And I was like, no, translucent black. And poor Stuart's like, oh, you can't do this to such a perfect piece of maple. I'm like, Stuart, trust me. When the lights hit it, it's going to explode with color. If you've seen some of the stage shots with this bass, you know exactly what I mean. And so we did end up covering a perfect piece of maple with translucent black. So one of the first times I'd ever done that, the first black hardware on an NS and I think the first black hardware at all. Translucent black finish, the piezo thing, the fiber optic, and of course I string it with DR Black Beauties. That's my string of choice and has been ever since I came out. Been using DR for 14 years. I'm not about to change now. So this is my voice, and I've had it since 1/6/95. In just a few weeks it'll be 16 years that we've gone through the wars together. Work with your dealer. They'll work with Stuart and the crew. Tell them everything you want exactly the way you want it. And before you know it, you'll have your voice from Stuart. I'm Lane on bass. Y'all keep thumping.